What if a story never officially confirmed could still refuse to disappear? What if silence spoke louder than any headline? And what if two names connected by the past suddenly appeared in the same country at the same time? Would you really believe that nothing happened? Welcome back to Magazine News and Gossip. Today we are not here to shout. We are not here to accuse. And we are definitely not here to invent drama. Today we are here to do something far more powerful. To slow down. To place every detail on the table. And to look at the full picture without filters. Because when the name Yaman is mentioned, when Demet Özdemir is part of the conversation, and when Spain quietly enters the scene, coincidences stop feeling so innocent. In the past few days, rumors began circulating. Not through official announcements. Not through staged photos. Not through coordinated statements. But through whispers, indirect signals, and movements that only the most attentive followers noticed. There was no confirmation. There was no denial that closed the door completely. And yet the story exploded.
Why?
Because this is not just any story. This is a story with history, with emotions that once played out in public, and with an audience that never truly stopped watching. Before we go any further, ask yourself this one simple question. Do you really believe that two people who shared such an intense chapter of their lives can be in the same country without absolutely anything happening? Stay with us until the end, because today we will not only revisit what was said publicly, but also what was carefully avoided, and most importantly, the details that were left floating without explanation. Here at Magazine News and Gossip, we do not chase conflict. We chase context. We do not attack. We analyze. And if you appreciate content that values balance, clarity, and respect, make sure you are subscribed and notifications are on. Because stories like this are not told in one headline. They are understood over time. Now, let us go back to where it all began. This story did not start with a loud declaration. It started quietly, with subtle comments, with indirect messages, and with movements that a few observant fans began to connect. Spain suddenly appeared as a common point, a country where many public figures can move without constant media pressure, a place far from the daily spotlight, a perfect setting to exist without being seen. Shortly after the rumors gained traction, the first clear reaction arrived. Demet Özdemir denied any meeting. Her response was direct,
Calm.
without drama, without unnecessary explanation. She simply made it clear that there was no encounter. And here something must be said honestly. To deny is not to attack. To deny is not to provoke. Very often to deny is simply to protect personal space. What truly caught attention was not the denial itself, but how quickly the topic was closed from her side. And just when many believed the story would end there, Yaman decided to speak. His statement was measured, controlled, carefully constructed. He confirmed one specific detail. Yes, he was in Spain, but he was equally clear about another point. According to his words, there was no meeting with Demet. At first glance, everything seemed simple. Two people spoke separately. Each one defined their own version. Case closed. Or was it? Because when we slow down, when we analyze the exact wording, when we pay attention not only to what was said, but to what was not said, the story begins to take on another dimension. Saying we did not meet is not the same as saying we did not coincide. We did not speak, or there was no form of contact. And this is where many began to pause. Was this just a coincidence, misunderstood by the public? Or was there a deliberate care in how each sentence was constructed? If this analysis is resonating with you, make sure to like the video. because that support allows magazine news and gossip to continue delivering content that goes deeper than surface-level headlines. Now, let us talk about what was never clarified. After the initial statements, many assumed the topic would fade. That Demet's denial on one side, and Yaman's clarification on the other, would be enough to close the chapter. But that did not happen. And not because anyone actively fueled the rumor, but because too many spaces were left blank. When a story is completely false, it usually collapses quickly. It loses strength. It loses interest. People move on. Here the opposite happened. The more the story was treated as finished, the more questions emerged. One detail in particular stood out: timing. Not exact dates, not private schedules, but general coincidences. Similar movements, brief stays, synchronized silences. Nothing that proves anything, but enough to keep the conversation alive. And there is something important many forget. Fans do not analyze these stories from curiosity alone. They analyze them through memory, through the remembrance of a relationship that was once public, intense, and deeply observed. That is why every later gesture is seen through a different lens. Spain is not a neutral setting in stories like this. It is not a place where the press constantly hunts Turkish celebrity headlines. It is a country where it is possible to move with discretion, without visibly hiding. That raised another question. If there truly was no form of contact, why not close the topic with a slightly more detailed explanation? Why rely on short phrases, leaving interpretation entirely in the hands of the audience? This is where silence begins to carry weight, because after those statements, there were no follow-up interviews, no longer explanations, no visible effort to organize the narrative. And in the world of entertainment, that usually means one of two things. Either the topic is not important enough, or it is sensitive enough not to be touched. If this analysis still holds your attention, like the video, because it tells us that this type of content deserves to exist. Another detail that many noticed was the extreme care in language. Yaman confirmed his presence in Spain, but was extremely precise when addressing the alleged meeting. He left no obvious room for interpretation, yet did not completely close every door. That type of communication is never accidental. It is often the result of a conscious decision to say just enough, without provoking, without denying beyond what is necessary, without feeding theories, but also without entering emotional explanations. And for many, that was telling, because when something carries no emotional weight, it is usually explained easily. But when there is history, shared memories, a meaningful past, words are chosen far more carefully. Let us be clear once again. We are not claiming that a private meeting happened. We are not exposing anyone's personal life. We are analyzing why this story did not close itself, like so many others do. And that question remains unanswered. The audience was left in a strange emotional pause. No scandal, no reconciliation, no absolute confirmation or denial. Only the feeling that something remained unfinished. And when a story feels unfinished, people do not stop looking at it. So what does this silence really mean? Why does this story continue to generate reaction without headlines? And what might be the most human reason behind all of it? At this point, one thing becomes clear. If this story still lives, it is not because of drama, but because of what it represents. Yaman and Demet Özdemir are not just two famous names. They are two people who shared a chapter that left a mark on collective memory. And when that kind of past exists, even silence becomes meaningful. Maybe there was no meeting. Maybe they coincided briefly,
Casually.
without intention to reopen anything. Or maybe both simply chose to protect something that once mattered, without explaining it to the world. None of these possibilities imply deception
Conflict.
or manipulation. They imply maturity, distance, and understanding. They imply that not everything that was lived needs to be explained publicly. And perhaps that is why this story is so difficult for the public to close. Because there is no final truth to calm us. Only carefully chosen words, extended silences, and the sensation of an unfinished chapter. At Magazine News and Gossip, we do not deliver verdicts. We read between the lines without invading. We seek understanding without attacking. And we tell stories without causing harm. If you appreciate this approach, subscribe now and turn on notifications so you never miss our upcoming deep dive analyses. And if you want to support the channel, you can do so through Buy Me a Coffee. Supporters receive early content, exclusive analyses, and priority on future topics, always voluntarily and without obligation. And now we leave you with a question that keeps everything open. What do you think? Was this love? Or simply a story left unfinished? Your opinion matters. Leave it in the comments, because here at Magazine News and Gossip, the most important voices
Are yours.
do not leave without sharing what you truly think.